We're not crazy.
You guys know the only bit of that that's going to remain is the bit you're going, we're not crazy.
Are you, like, Eric Cartman's superhero
No.
from South Park series?
No, I'm a raccoon.
You're just a regular raccoon.
Not obvious. Well, I mean, I'm a raccoon who's very skilled at admin jobs, but, you know.
Not just an
I'm
ordinary...
trying to think, just being the most boring sitcom ever. It's like, oh, as a raccoon can walk and talk. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. But he just does admin. Yes, like...
Well, you know, everyone's got to make a living.
Funnily enough, in one of the more recent Guardians of the Galaxy ones, I can't remember which specific title it is, but one of that Cosmic Marvel ones, Rocket Raccoon has had to give it all up and go for a day job at an office, like just he's the office mailman, just wheeling the trolley around.
I have all these great ideas.
It doesn't last long.
And then they're all done by other people before I get in there. Or I'm too lazy to do them. The one without sound.
Yes, without sound.
Without sound. That was my first sketch that I wrote that What Have You filmed. Which was wonderful. Yeah.
If you want to say anything about it, we can put it in a general catch-up thing.
This is a long time ago.
Ironically, he can't think of anything to say.
No. It was inspired by the sound quality of What Have You video sketches. So I thought I'd write a sketch that had no sound in it.
It's weird seeing Brad Pitt actually acting in stuff.
Oh,
You know what I mean,
yeah,
though.
he does get typecast. I think he's a very good actor.
He is.
But I didn't realise it until I saw 12 Monkeys and go, oh wow, he's actually really good.
It's like when
Exactly
you see
the same, yeah.
when you see Zac Efron in things, you think Zac Efron, you think you play basketball and sing. That is the extent of your talents.
We should get him to do the Not the Podcast theme tune.
Yeah, because he's
While playing basketball.
yeah. But then he actually, when he's off Disney's chain, he can do stuff. He can act. He is an actual performer. Like, comment, and subscribe if you think Brad Pitt should be in a What Have You sketch.
Also, give us contact details for his agents.
Yeah.
Dear Mrs. Angelina Pitt, please let your husband out for the day to come and act with us. Sincerely, What Have You.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Pitt. Can Brad come out and play, please?
I wrote Yellow Peril because I was sitting at lunchtime. I needed to think of a sketch at some point. I was sitting staring at a cheese board going, what can I write a sketch about? Okay, so it starts off with some guy sitting staring at a cheese board. Okay, why is he staring at a cheese board? He thinks it's going to attack him. Why does he think it's going to attack him? Because there's this big overarching conspiracy, and that's where that came from. So sometimes, literally, you do end up writing a sketch based on yourself sitting there trying to think up a sketch.
The creative process.
In case you can't remember or haven't seen Yellow Peril, it's this one here. It should be just about here. Where Alex gets hit in the face with cheese, and for that reason it is one of my favourite sketches that we have ever done.
That's one I've missed.
I think Alex said at the beginning was like, are we allowed to put that as the title?
Yeah.
Is that racist? Are we racist if we use that as the title?
I think if you have to question it, then you're alright.
Yeah.
As long as you've thought about it.
It's one of those ones that, like, we did very early on, and as a result of it, I do kind of wish we could do it again, because I think we'd be able to do it slightly better
What
or
have you
differently.
remastered?
I've had it at the back of... Actually, I've had it at the back of my mind that if we... Like, I don't want to just do, instead of this week's video, we're redoing old videos. But if we ever have an excuse for redoing old videos, I don't know if it's still true, but for a long time, while we're going on, I thought that was definitely the strongest script I've written, even if it didn't come across entirely. But also, the way Alex chose to shoot and film the whole horror sequence for that is very different to the way it was written, and I think the way he did it is good, but it means there's a lot of potential to recast at least one part, because it turns out, like, we didn't know then, but Jack is not very good at acting scared. So I think we'd probably recast all of the parts just to make it more entertaining, although we might still want to get Alex hit with a cheese wheel. But we could recast that, tweak some of the dialogue. Like, again, Alex wasn't familiar with a lot of types of cheese, so we had to change the types of cheese that were in the script, because he was like, fuck knows how you say that. What this weird cheese that you're coming out the rock for? What's that?
Shut up!
It was like, it's not that exotic.
Wansley Darley.
As it's written, the Yellow Peril thing was the whole bit at the end was very much an homage to Sam Raimi. So it was the proper full-on Evil Dead style sound effects and camera effects and everything. And we didn't quite do that in the end, so I think we should... Like, if we ever have an excuse to redo it, I'd like to, but...
Red Leicester.
Since the topic's come up, a couple of people have pointed out, you know, if we're hoping to build on our fan base and go on to great things in the future, if we want to, like, remaster any old videos or just tweak anything, now is probably not the worst time to do it. So I don't know if anyone has any strong feelings or whether they particularly want us not to bother because they'd rather we were doing more. I mean, we'll still be doing new things. This wouldn't be instead of. But there are a couple of things I mainly want to tweak for sound. But also, immediately after we did Cape Racist, I watched back Broadband Narrow Mind, and I was in a bit of a rush editing that. It's not very slick and quick back and forth, and I kind of want to tweak everything now, and I probably shouldn't because I should be working on new stuff, but if I'm going to end up doing it anyway just to appease the gremlins in my brain, I might as well upload it.
Yeah, basically, there's a ground level you had to be on the internet a few years ago in a certain location on certain forums and websites where if you were doing any kind of funny comedy stuff on the internet, it would explode really well and you'd have a huge fan base following. I don't know if What Have You was included in that ground level explosion of fan following.
We were a bit late because we were basically part of the explosion.
Yeah.
If you like, we were
inspired by.
Inspired by one of the ones who were in the middle of that explosion. So we're kind of like the dust cloud off to the side.
Yeah, with a second wave, it's not quite as easy to pick up.
I think we're probably more like the third wave. I'd say the second wave is more like Rooster Teeth and Yogg's Cast.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah.
More Let's Play oriented. Comedy.
Well, I mean, I think
internet nostalgia's odd though, because I was just thinking that because it's like things we'll be telling younger people about, but it's like, oh no, it's like the time before there was Facebook and before there was YouTube. When if you wanted comedy content, you had to go to like other individual websites and you were checking out things like Newgrounds and Albino Black Sheep and stuff.
And I was like, oh yeah, so you know, badger, 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 badger. And she's like, what?
Whoosh.
And I was like, mushroom.
You just always just go, oh, Numa. They go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You sent me?
Like, here's a llama, there's a llama. No. And she's just like,
if it's not Tomska, they don't want to know.
Nyan-cat. What? But like that's the farthest back that the internet goes for her is Nyan-cat. And I was like, or like even that weird time when you could like something on YouTube, but that wouldn't necessarily tell Facebook and Google Plus and everything else that you enjoyed watching that video.
I got really freaked out the other day about adverts following around. I bought bleach from the supermarket and I used my debit card. And later in that day, I had bleach adverts on my computer. Now, I'm pretty sure my bank is not linked in any way to the internet. But I was like, but did they know? Did they know I bought Harpic Power Plus?
I'd like to know what I've put into Facebook that it seems to think advertising... What is it advertises at me? Sell your eggs.
Yeah.
Houses available in Westminster.
Just Westminster?
Yeah.
Nowhere else?
No, just Westminster.
Vicky wants to be on the ground level of politics.
Ironically, Facebook is advertising LinkedIn for me a lot at the moment. Like, please join LinkedIn.
Get on Facebook. We don't want you here anymore.
Please join LinkedIn. No one likes us.
It can become a recurring segment where every few weeks we do one with internet nostalgia, because we have the whole search engine nostalgia thing in the previous.
The good old days of the internet.
Yeah.
Like, when you didn't have broadband connection, so watching a 6-minute flash video was like real effort. Because the amount of time it would take to load, like, you would do other things while the video was loading.
There is an entire generation of people defined by the fact that they can recite the dial-up connection noise.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like, anyone...
You try looking at internet porn on a Friday night when your parents are asleep in the next room and you've got to connect to the internet. And you're trying to, like, stifle the microphone.
Someone will be out there decrypting your old phone number now.
I don't live there anymore. Have fun.
Oh, talking of conservation, I was really disappointed. Discovered the other day that Isilu, who was possibly the largest elephant in the world, who I met when I was in South Africa.
What, like at dinner? You just, I met this elephant while I was in South Africa.
Well, we saw him when we were around.
We were each shopping for hats. We went for the same one. Yeah. Like, oh, you're a rather large elephant. I'm actually the biggest elephant.
But it was this thing of we were. Like, I saw him when we were going around on safari from a little bit of a distance, or he would go past the jeep, but then he came right up by the side of the camp at one point, and I kind of wandered up to the gates when everybody else had got bored of looking for him and, like, he'd gone away again. And then all of a sudden I suddenly realised he was right there in front of me, just the other side of the gate, so it's...
You missed the largest elephant in the world!
It was nice. No,
this is like complete. The plains are the same. There's nothing. There's one tree, and like
it wasn't the Serengeti. It was
just looking, and then
sand...
suddenly there's an elephant there. You're like,
it was Sandfeld Forest at night. Okay. Well, I knew he was there. He wandered up and forth, like pushing trees over, because that was his hobby, was pushing trees over. Just outside the gate, just outside the fence, to be like, you humans think you're clever, but I can push your fences over anytime I like. And then he wandered off for a bit, and everyone else wandered back to the fire. And I wandered up to the gate just to see if I could follow him. It was like, I know he went over there somewhere, so he's probably in that direction, but a little distance away. They're incredibly soft-footed, they make no noise, so you can't tell where they are from sound. I was like, he wandered off in that direction, so he's probably there. And then, 6 foot in front of me, a big, massive pair of ears went like that and blotted out the stars. And I was like, wow.
So you were probably quite close.
Yes.
Like, probably dangerously close, because aren't elephants... You're not really meant to just go up to them, are you?
No.
Because they're not like Dumbo. Like,
especially
like,
male elephants.
Like, these tusks are made for
goring
you, yeah.
And that's what they'll do.
He was content to let us stay there, but obviously if I'd done anything to piss him off, it would have been quite bad news for me. But it was that thing of, like, it's one of the most astonishing things that's ever happened to me in my life, and I did discover the other day that apparently he's just died, and rhino poachers got to the body before anyone else could have found it, and
what
they
do
just
rhino poachers do with an elephant?
Take the tusk.
They can still sell, like... This is like the whole elephant...
Then why do they call them rhino poachers?
This is like the whole argument that I had about Marines, ex-Marine lift repairmen. It's like, they are there to poach rhino. If they come across extremely valuable elephant tusks, they will steal them and sell them.
I feel they should change their name.
It's not like a World of Warcraft class. You
I
can't
think
just specify in rhino.
You can't do the steel. You can't cast the steel tusk.
Yeah, I feel the rhino poachers are misrepresented.
But yeah, it was...
Yeah, otherwise they'd be perfectly nice and friendly.
You know, rhino and elephant poachers and associated bastardness. You know, just...
Well, that's the wider guild title.
Yeah.
You know, they were probably taking it back for their friends who were dedicated elephant poachers. Although poaching an elephant, you need a really fucking big saucepan.
That is true. And a lot of water. And, like, getting to float in the water as well. Because if you're poaching it, you want them to float in the water so they get that nice rounded shape. Like, making a big whirlpool and then dropping an elephant on it, it's quite hard. So
we just went from your best friend in the world, the largest elephant that ever lived, died the other day, how shall we poach him? Good friend, was he? Was it the most magical moment of your life? When the elephant's ears blotted out the sun? Or did you just go, oh god, if I can make a joke about this elephant.
You're making me feel
Mike.
genuinely bad.
I'm sorry, Mike. You lost your elephant friend.
I think we should stop this video before Mike starts crying.
Too low.
I feel bad for your elephant friend.